Look at this. Over 1,000 rose plants, all rooted, all thriving, all from one single bush in my backyard. One plant, 7 days, no greenhouse, no expensive equipment, nothing fancy at all. And I know what you're thinking. You're right, clickbait. I get it. I would have thought the same thing a year ago, because I was the guy who killed every cutting he touched. Buy them, plant them, watch them slowly give up and die. I genuinely started wondering if maybe gardening just wasn't for me. You know that feeling? Like some people are just born with a green thumb, and you somehow missed out? Yeah, I lived there for way too long. Turns out I wasn't bad at gardening at all. I was just making one stupid mistake right at the very beginning. One tiny thing. The moment I fixed it, my success rate jumped from 20% all the way up to 95%. Almost overnight. Same backyard, same rose bushes, completely different results. And the best part? Everything you need is already sitting in your kitchen right now. We're talking $5 total, maybe less. Let me show you exactly how this works. Step 1, picking the right cuttings. All right, so this is where everything begins. And honestly, this is also where most people quietly sabotage themselves without even realizing it. They walk out to their rose bush, grab whatever stem looks available, snip it off, and wonder why nothing ever roots. The cutting you choose at the very beginning determines everything that happens after. Everything. So here's what you're looking for. You want a stem that just finished blooming, not the brand new baby growth shooting out from the base. That's too soft, too fragile. It'll collapse before roots even think about forming. And not the old woody brown stem either. That's too far gone, too rigid. The rooting process is going to struggle big time. You want the middle ground. The stem that had a flower on it recently. Now it's done, and it's sitting there looking semi-firm and greenish-brown. That's your gold mine right there. Thickness matters too. You want something roughly as thick as a pencil. Too thin, and it dries out before roots develop. Too thick, and it just sits there rotting slowly in the soil. Pencil thickness. Burn that into your brain. Now count your nodes. Those are the little bumps along the stem where leaves attach. You want at least 3 nodes on every single cutting. 3 minimum. 4 is even better. Why? Because roots emerge from those nodes. More nodes, more chances, more plants. Your cut angle matters more than you think. Always cut at 45 degrees. Not straight across, 45 degrees. A straight cut reduces the surface area that absorbs water and nutrients. A diagonal cut maximizes it. And please, use a sharp blade. A dull scissors crushes the stem tissue instead of slicing it cleanly. Crushed tissue rots. Sharp cuts heal. One clean motion, angled at 45 degrees, right below a node. That's your perfect cutting right there. Now you're ready for step 2. The rooting hormone trick nobody talks about. Okay, so this is the step that genuinely changed everything for me. And when I first heard about it, I rolled my eyes a little. It sounded too simple. Too kitchen-y. Too much like something your grandma would suggest. But I tried it anyway, because I was desperate and running out of ideas, and I've not looked back since. You do not need to buy rooting hormone powder from a garden center. You really don't. It works fine, sure, but you've got 3 things sitting in your kitchen right now that work just as well. Maybe better. I'm talking about a raw potato, fresh aloe vera gel, and plain raw honey. Any one of these 3 will do the job. All 3 have natural rooting compounds that signal the cutting to start producing roots fast. Here's how you use them. Take your cutting, freshly made, 45-degree angle, 3 nodes minimum, and do one of these 3 things. Option 1. Push the cut in directly into a raw potato chunk and leave it there. The potato keeps the end moist and slowly feeds it rooting compounds the entire time. Option 2. Squeeze fresh aloe vera gel and coat the bottom inch of the cutting completely. Aloe has natural auxins. Those are plant hormones that literally trigger root growth. Option 3, dip the cut end in raw honey and coat it well. Honey is antibacterial, keeps the wound clean, and promotes healthy cell growth at the same time. Whichever one you choose, don't wipe it off after. Don't rinse it. Just leave it on there and move straight to planting. The coating needs to stay intact to do its job properly. This sounds almost too easy, right? That's what I thought too. But simple works. And when you see 95% of your cuttings rooting successfully, you stop questioning it and start trusting it completely. Step 3. Setting up the perfect growing medium. This step right here is the one that kills the most cuttings worldwide. I'm completely serious. People put so much thought into picking the right cutting. They nail the rooting hormone, and then they stick it straight into a pot of regular potting soil and wonder why it rots within a week. Regular potting soil is designed for established plants with developed root systems. It holds too much moisture, not enough oxygen. A cutting doesn't have roots yet. It's essentially trying to breathe through its stem, drown it with heavy wet soil, and it suffocates before it ever gets started. What you need is a mix that stays moist but drains fast, light enough that even the tiniest root tip can push through without resistance. Here's the exact ratio that worked for me every single time. 60% regular potting mix, 40% perlite. That's it. Perlite is those little white volcanic glass particles you've probably seen in soil before. They create air pockets, improve drainage dramatically, and keep the medium from compacting around your cutting. Don't have perlite? Coarse river sand works as a solid substitute. Regular fine sand from a sandbox. Don't bother. Too fine. Clogs up. You need coarse, gritty sand that you can feel between your fingers. Fill your tray or small pots with this mixture. Water it until it's evenly moist throughout. Not soaking wet, not bone dry. Pick it up. It should feel heavy with moisture, but water shouldn't be dripping from the bottom freely. That's your target moisture level before any cutting goes in. Get this right, and you've already eliminated the number one reason cuttings fail. You're building a foundation here. Don't rush it. Step 4. Planting 1,000 cuttings the smart way. Okay, so here's where it gets really fun. Because doing this efficiently, actually hitting that 1,000 cutting number without losing your mind, requires a little bit of system thinking. You can't just randomly poke cuttings into trays and hope for the best. You need a process, something repeatable, fast, and consistent. Because consistency is what gives you those numbers. First thing, work in batches. Don't prepare one cutting, plant it, go back, prepare another. Prepare 50 cuttings at a time. Get them all cut, all treated with your rooting hormone of choice, lined up and ready. Then plant them all in one go. Assembly line style. This alone triples your speed. 4 spacing. Give each cutting about 3 inches of space in every direction. Crowded cuttings compete for airflow and moisture, which creates the perfect environment for mold and rot. 3 inches keeps things clean and gives roots room to spread without tangling into each other. Now here's the humidity trick that costs you literally nothing. Take empty plastic water bottles. The 16 or 20 ounce size works great. Cut the bottoms off completely. Place one over each cutting like a little personal greenhouse dome. This traps humidity right around the cutting, reducing moisture loss through the leaves while roots haven't formed yet. It's the same principle as a $200 humidity dome setup, except free. Label everything. Trust me on this. When you have 50 trays of cuttings all looking identical, you will forget what variety is where. A piece of tape and a marker takes 5 seconds per tray. Do it now or regret it in 2 weeks. Step 5. The 7-day care routine that seals the deal. You've done the hard work. Cuttings are planted, domes are on, trays are positioned. Now comes the part that separates the people who succeed from the people who don't. And it's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things consistently and resisting the urge to interfere. Day 1 and 2, leave them completely alone. Seriously, don't touch them, don't move them, don't peek under the dome. Just let them settle. Place your trays somewhere with bright, indirect light. Morning sun is perfect. Direct afternoon sun will cook them under those plastic domes. Bright, but indirect. That's your placement target. Day 3, mist the inside of the dome lightly if condensation has completely disappeared. You want to see a little moisture on the inside of the bottle. That means humidity levels are good. If it's still foggy inside, skip the misting. Day 4 and 5, you might notice the leaves looking slightly perkier, maybe a tiny bit more upright than before. That's not your imagination. That's the cutting stabilizing as the first root hairs begin forming underground. This is a good sign. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. Day 6, Resist the biggest temptation in gardening. Do not pull the cutting out to check for roots. I know how badly you want to. It destroys the fragile new roots that are just forming. Every time, just wait one more day. Day 7, gently, barely tug the stem upward. Just a little resistance. You've got roots, real roots. 1,000 little miracles happening all at once right there in your backyard. And this feeling right here, this is exactly why we do this. And there you have it. That's the whole system. Pick the right stem, use what's already in your kitchen, build a growing medium that actually breathes, plant smart, not hard, and then just trust the process for 7 days. That's it. No magic, no expensive setup, just the right steps done in the right order. What gets me every single time is how many people are out there spending hundreds of dollars at nurseries every single season, when they could be growing their own plants at home for almost nothing. You don't need a massive greenhouse. You don't need a horticulture degree. You just needed someone to show you the right way. And now you have it. So here's what I want you to do. Go outside this weekend. Find one healthy rose bush. Yours, your neighbor's, your mom's garden, wherever. Take your cuttings. Set up your trays. Put those little plastic bottle domes on. And then come back here in 7 days and tell me what happened. Drop a comment below with how many cuttings you planted. I read every single one, and I will personally reply. Because here's the thing. Gardening gets lonely when you feel like you're failing alone. But you're not alone anymore. There's a whole community of people right here doing exactly what you're doing. Learning, growing, figuring out together. And if you want to know what to do with 1,000 rose plants once they're rooted, how to actually turn this into real money, make sure you subscribe right now, because that video is coming next week. And trust me, you don't want to miss that one. I'll see you there.